What's going on, guys? Scar coming at you with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we'll be diving into a Sultai Mutate deck. Now with the bans effectively through, the companion rule change, we're going to be diving into a Mutate deck that I feel like I've been having some pretty decent success. There's some weaknesses to the deck, and it's pretty inexpensive to actually build. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't do any research into it for the most part. If there's like a budget version of this deck, I mean, majority of the cards are cheap. For the most part, everything's from Ikoria, so if you've been getting a lot of the new Ikoria stuff, you may already have a whole bunch of these cards. Requires a few mythics, a few rares, but the whole idea here is to kind of mutate your creatures and make your opponents either discard cards, sacrifice creatures, just getting damage in on your opponent. It's like weird creature control-esque kind of mutate. But overall, like I said, the deck is fairly fun to play. It's very synergistic just because everything plays mutate. Its weakness being the aggro decks, just because if we don't get a good hand, we kind of get too much damage into us before we can really, outpace them with big creatures. But overall, it's a bunch of fun. If you guys want, hit that like button. It definitely helps out the channel a little bit. Thank you guys again for 250 subscribers. I think now by the time I post this video, we're actually past that. And I guess next is 1,000. I don't really know. But let's move on to the deck. Let's break it down, and we'll talk about how the deck works and all that stuff. So pretty much this is the Mutate deck. It plays a lot of commons, uncommons, a few rares for like the land base, just to make it easier to play things, as well as a couple rare / mythic cards to kind of target certain things depending on the opponents we match up. The meta is in a weird place right now. I don't know 100% where it's going to fall right now. I would assume just because the meta is a little all over the place, we'll probably see a bunch of red deck wins. We'll probably see just a bunch of more aggressive decks, just because usually when a meta's in the fritz, usually everyone goes to like the sure deck that's going to definitely get them the victory. So we're just gonna kind of wait and see what happens. But overall, the deck plays pretty straightforward. It's pretty fun, like I said before in the beginning. But we'll break it down, kind of talk about each card, see how it goes. So the first card up is the Arable Grazer. This is like our one card that helps us against the aggro decks, just because it's a 0/3 body. Allows us to also ramp up a little bit, so it gives us the additional land into the battlefield, and has reach, so if they try to fly over, we have something to block in the air. Polywog Symbiote is the next card. It makes our spells with mutate cost 1 less, and whenever we cast a creature or spell with mutate, whether we mutate it or not, we get to draw a card and discard a card, so it gives us some more hand advantage, which is always good, especially if we're trying to find a particular answer, maybe to deal with something on our opponent's side of the board. Other thing, just to throw out there, we don't really play any spells other than creatures. I don't know if playing a companion is really worth it, just because the new companion rule makes them kind of like less effective. But we could play the companion. We could play Yumori to kind of make these things cost even more less. But I wouldn't really want to sacrifice my early game in order to really play that. Then we got the Sea Dasher Octopus, another good card with flash. We could also flash this on our Grazer on turn 2, giving our Grazer the ability to gain additional cards, which is always good. Getting card advantage is actually really good in this deck, as well as mutating at a flash speed, because it allows us to then proc triggers during our opponent's turn as long as they don't have a Teferi out. But overall, this is one of those cards that is fun. Whenever our creatures deal damage, we get to draw a card, so if our opponent doesn't decide to block, we can always flash them in as well and make sure we get the card advantage. So another good solid card there. Then we go into the Dirge Bat, another cool flash flyer. Mutate of 6, a little expensive, but the ability with this one is whenever this creature mutates, we can destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. So more than likely, we probably play this on turn 3 at flash speed. We only play one of. You then maybe put a Sea Dasher Octopus or maybe one of our other mutates onto it on the following turn, or we play it at the end of our opponent's turn. Then we get to immediately attack on our turn and then possibly mutate it again. Another solid mutate card, just overall, just a nice one of. Instable Hemophage, it's a 4 cost 3/3 with Death Touch, and whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life and gain X life for X's number of times this creature is mutated. So it's cool, like towards the end of the game, where you can kind of mutate this multiple times, have Death Touch, so they have to, if they block it, it's going to kill the creature regardless. And the ability to gain some life and make our opponent lose some life is also always good. Gem Razor, because we need some more reach, as well as it has trample. And then whenever this creature mutates, we get to destroy target artifact and or enchantment. So just in case any of those enchantments and or artifacts decks that are still out there, we can kind of stop them. If we play this for its like normal cost and then flash it in for its mutate cost, we could possibly or flash a mutate onto it, we could possibly get rid of, you know, an Ember Cleave or something like that our opponent may try to cast on us. But overall, solid card. So definitely a good card to have with the current meta, with things being a little more aggro aggressive. Then you got the Great Horn, another solid mutate card because of its size. If we play the Pilowite Symbiote on turn 2, we could technically play this with 2 mana the following turn, get an additional land on the battlefield. And the ability that every time the creature that this is mutated onto mutates, and we get to put a land from our deck onto the battlefield tap, means that we're thinning our deck out a little bit to get answers to possibly things that our opponent's playing. So definitely a solid card to have. Our opponents, you know, sometimes scoop even seeing this. I had a couple games where our opponents just started seeing our mutates go off, and they were like, I guess they didn't have anything, so they just kind of gave up. So mutate's a very interesting deck just on that basis, but getting land advantage every time you mutate is also a great time. Pouncing Shark. Definitely another cool solid card. Another flash mutator. It's mutate of 4 or cost of 5, but whenever this creature mutates, we get to return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand, so we can attack in, and then on our opponent's turn we can mutate our creature that attacked in, bounce something back, or just use it as a reactionary, you know, just playing something, bounce one of our opponent's creatures back. Definitely a cool card to play, especially if we know we can maybe swing in the following turn for a game, or just get something out of the way that we think is going to be a pain in the butt. Or if our opponent's playing mutate as well, we get to remove one of their mutate stacks and move it back to their hand, then they have to replay everything. So definitely a solid card that we play 4 of. Then you got the Cavern Whisperer, another good solid mutate card. And then whenever this guy mutates, our opponent discards the card. I did do a game before this match started where I pretty much had a bunch of cheap mutates because of the Polywag Symbiote, and I pretty much played this on one of my cards and then had a couple cheaper mutates, so I made my opponent pretty much discard their hand, and they just pretty much gave up afterwards. And it has Menace, so it gives our creature the Menace, so they would have to, and then in theory, block with 2 creatures or even stop this. Combine that with like something like Death Touch or other things. Definitely a good card. If you put it in the air, it makes it even harder for our opponent to stop it, but definitely a good solid card, especially when Polywag Symbiote and we get any of our cheaper mutates on the board. Then we got Nethari, the Apex of Death. One of these guys has lifelink, Death Touch, mutate of 7, so a little bit more expensive. If we get the Polywag, it's a mutate of 6. But whenever this creature mutates, we may return any number of target creature cards with a total of 10 power 10 or less from our graveyard to the battlefield. So it does have a cool return our creatures back from the battlefield kind of effect. A lot of things in the deck, for the most part, are on the lower end. You know, you get some Sea Dasher Octopuses, a Polywag Symbiote. You can get all your Grazers back if they're in there, Gem Razor. Depending on what you need, you can kind of get it back from the thing, and then you have either a wide board, depending on how many things you get back. Definitely also a good ability to give our creatures Death Touch and Lifelink, so definitely a solid card in that essence. But like I said, we only play 1 of, so it's not like, you know, we're going to get it all the time, but if we do get it, it does have good power and could actually make our opponent give up afterwards. Then we got the Barocos, the Apex of Forever, a 6/6 mutator. With Trample, it's a mutate of 5 for 4 if we have the Symbiote out, and then we can actually discard him for like the Symbiote and actually cast him from our graveyard with his mutate ability. So we can kind of get rid of him and replay him if we really wanted to. And the other thing too, looking at it, is actually pretty cool, is with the Sultai mana, his third mana is actually a splash of either blue or black and 2 green compared to his normal cost, which is 1 of every color plus 2. So definitely interesting on how the mana slightly changes if we play him from his graveyard or from our hand. Then we got the Chittering Harvester, another 1 of in the deck, just because he has a bigger body and he's a little bit more expensive, but his ability is actually pretty cool because whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacrifices a creature, which definitely is awesome because you get a bunch of cheap mutators on him and then mutate multiple times. Our opponents like slowly sacrificing their board away. Definitely in the late game or a deck where they maybe only play a couple creatures, this guy can actually wipe them out in the sense that they will have less creatures on the battlefield, then we're able to get through and do our damage. So definitely a cool card that we play 1 of just in case. Stonecoil Serpent is actually another interesting card in the essence of it's an X cost, so we can play for any mana that we have. So even if we don't have like a turn 2 play or turn 3 play, we can tap 3 and play him with +1/+1 counters. And he can be mutated onto, so whatever we mutate onto him, we'll get those additional counters. So if we put like a Sea Dasher Octopus on a Stonecoil Serpent, the Sea Dasher Octopus will take its 2/2 power and then get the additional counters from the cost that we paid when we put this guy into the battlefield. So in essence, he's actually going to get bigger. He'll get the counters plus whatever the power and toughness is of the card we mutate onto. The one thing just to throw out there, just to give you a heads up, we can't actually mutate any of our multicolor spells onto him, just on the basis of he has protection from multicolor, so even our multicolor spells can't be casted on him or targeted onto him. So that's just the one thing I just want to throw out there, just so if you're playing, you're like, wait, I can't do anything. That's the reason why, is because he has protection from multicolor. Then moving on to the lands, we play a pretty solid land base of 3 islands, 2 swamps, 4 forests, 4 water graves, 4 overgrown tombs, 4 breeding pools, and 3 Zagoth triomes. Overall solid mana base, which in total equals, we have 24 lands. We have effects to search for our lands, so playing any more I actually think is pointless. Just on the basis of we kind of wanted, we have ways to ramp up to those lands, so it's like we can search our library for the basics and throw them onto the battlefield, and then in essence we could probably just draw, you know, the dual lands and stuff like that during the game. We play 36 creatures, 0 non-creatures, so it's pretty much we can play the Amori, but it's kind of like the additional companion cost makes it ineffective just because we have to waste 6 mana or 7 mana to actually even play the card. So that's the only unfortunate part with the Amori change. I mean, you could always add in some Heartless Axe or any kind of spot removal if you really wanted to, or even add some counters depending on what you really are going up against and what you think you should do. But right now we're just playing all creatures as if the deck played Amori but now doesn't play Amori, so that's the only thing. But overall the deck curves out pretty well. It's about 3.3 just because the mutate cards count for a little bit higher, but in essence if we Polywalk Symbiote, it's actually much better. But overall the deck is pretty fun. Let's dive into some games. Let's kind of do some gameplay and then we'll kind of break it down afterwards. All right, first game. The one thing I've noticed that the queues have been a little bit longer, so like I've been getting stuck into like 20-30 second queues. This hand is interesting. We are on the play, but our opponent's playing Yorion, so they're playing the slow game. Part of me wants to get a little more aggressive, so I'm kind of curious as to what they're playing. I'm kind of like, I know they could still play. They could still play. Not Luris. I always get names messed up. We'll keep this hand. We'll get rid of. Man, part of me wants to keep. I'm gonna get rid of the snake. I know that may be a bad decision, but I have ramp. I don't have any blue mana. I probably should have gotten rid of the octopus, but I'm on the draw, so maybe I'll get lucky and draw into it. All right, so we're playing blue-red. Jeskai Luca. There we go. Jeskai Luca. I saw there's a version going around that has Luris in it, so it's possible that it's like a Luris Luca deck. I will put the black mana into the battlefield. Next turn we can actually mutate onto our Gem Razor, which is pretty solid. Yet again, no more black mana or blue mana, so that's unfortunate. I guess we play this. We do this. Mutate here. I probably could have saved the mutate, but I'd rather get the damage in because they're gonna have an advantage if we let them set up. If we draw blue mana, I mean our C-Dash Octopus becomes that much stronger. So there's that. They probably will play. That's fine. Right on schedule. I also feel like all of my sound got louder. Wow, that's a lot of. You know what, let's just sit back. Just on the basis of if they're gonna play something to.
Trust me, I have a plan.
Oh, do they? Okay, they're playing Narset, so maybe they were gonna look for an answer.
My prowess is unmatched. Hone your prowess.
I could get rid of the Teferi. Alright, they got a Typhoon. I got more mana. I guess we'll do this. They don't have anything to react with. We'll go over. Teferi is probably the worst here. Just because reasons.
Now what?
Still no blue mana, which makes it just seem like I'm playing like a Gruul. Not Gruul. I'm playing Sultai. I always get like I still get the combination manas mixed up. That's perfectly fine. They're gonna dig for something.
Meditate and prepare.
All right, so they're playing like a Luca deck. They're probably gonna get a Dream Trawler. Is probably my best guess. They don't have any tokens unless they decide to, unless they decide to make some. I mean, they could make one with the shark. And they can play that at any time, which is going to be a... right now, it's a 4/4. They play Luca. Alright, there's the Omen. So now they just make... You know, it's really funny. I legit just saw this deck in a video before I start recording. So it's... in all honesty, it's like they actually legit just saw the deck today and they made it. Or they're just playing... the new hotness, just because it's really hard to deal with a Dream Trawler, to be quite honest. I don't know why they're thinking. Okay. I mean, I could cast them outright, or I could put them on this, discarding that, and actually get into Narset, which I think is the play. They have a counter? I'll discard this. I think getting rid of the Narset is probably key here. They're probably going to keep the counters on it. Just on the fact that it has trample. Just because they need their tokens to get their Dream Trawler is what I would guess is what's going on here. Alright. They're gonna get back an Narset or a Teferi.
Trust me. You'll thank me later.
I mean, they bounce it. It's whatevs. See, this is the thing. We had to be aggressive, and unfortunately, that's the Teferi. And they're gonna get a Dream Trawler, because of course, Agent's gone. But I don't think I'm down and out, just on the basis of, it's not like it's GG's, because they still have to like do damage, and their Teferi is at 2. Next turn we plus it. They would have to draw cards on their turn. Keep mana open and possibly draw something with Shark Typhoon. We'll play the Triome, because lane's always good, and then we'll play this. They have something. It's probably that. Thing is, I don't really want to discard, so I think I just keep this. I think they have a Omen, maybe, that they'll probably use to like plus it, because like Omen, you can like Omen at like instant speed to then draw mana. They also probably have a Shadow of the Sky, so even if they attack all in, and I die in the process. I mean, I think they're looking at, they could Yorion here? Play a Yorion. Alright, so they're playing a full cost Shark Typhoon, which is interesting. So they could Omen next turn. And they're gonna get a Dream Trawler. Interesting. So they could Omen here, or what would they do on their turn? If they Omen, they draw a card and then get a Shark Typhoon. What do I have in my graveyard? I have 1 card in my graveyard. I mean, I guess we'll mutate over. That's not gonna do much because it doesn't proc it again. Luca's okay because I mean it's whatever. I'll get rid of the Teferi. I mean they could have another one. I mean I guess I'll get some land. I guess we'll get Island. I'm not really sure what we got here because they're going to gain a lot of life. They draw a lot of cards. It's kind of a wash. They can also create a 6/6 shark. We're playing another Shark Typhoon. They at least get a 3/3. So this may be in this. They may have this just on that basis. Yeah, I have 2 cards in my graveyard that are definitely not doing anything for me.
Just the trick for this.
So they got another Luca. I guess they can sacrifice a shark for a Luca, which gets them more. I mean, they're probably more than likely going to attack in because they get 2 draws because of the attack. It's just one of those decks that is very, it's very bad when it gets to the late game. I mean, I don't understand what the hard part is. They could attack in for 10, puts me at 4. Could draw some cards. All right, that puts them at 5 apiece. Part of me is like, should I have tapped that much to do that? Because I'm at 2 now. Okay, got double Lucas. That's 14. I forgot that Dream Trawler procs twice. That is definitely a hard matchup to beat. Just on the basis of once it gets going, it's GG's. The Teferi kind of messing with our flow also doesn't help. But it is what it is. I probably should have actually got out of there probably sooner, but I was kind of waiting to see if they were gonna like really get stuff. I like this hand. We don't have any black mana, but we have Baby Godzilla and we got a Great Horn, so we have things to get stuff, if that makes sense. All right, so we have no idea what our opponent's playing. I think we put the Overgrown Tomb into play tapped. There were questions. What are they playing? They're playing something blue and green. They're playing something with Renowned Weaponsmith. Okay. I don't know what that entails. I'm going to play my Poliwag so they can't attack me. Search library for a card name, heart. Interest in this. So they have a card that makes them search for something. I don't know what those cards do. I've actually probably never seen that card. They have another one. And a Shadow Spear. Okay. I have possibly answers. Why'd they? Oh, they just spent the mana to do that, I guess. I could get another black mana, which then definitely gets me I'll do this way. I'm about to get mana, so it's fine. Over a black mana. And then we'll see. Oh, is it 1 blue? Oh, it's 1 blue. No attacks. I'm gonna sit back and block. Because they're probably gonna put Shadow Spear on something, I think. That's fine. I'm bet you 10 to 1 they're probably wondering what I have. A Gem Razor would be great here. Yeah, so they have 4 mana. Okay. I'm actually very confused. What does this card do? Whenever this is equipped, it deals 1 damage to defend in player. Okay. Interesting. So they're gonna. It's an equipment deck of some sort. That's perfectly fine. Also, I don't know why you put on a tap guy. Perfectly fine. Pass to attackers. I'm gonna mutate this in here. We'll get some mana. We'll get some ramp. I don't need all this Sea Dashers. Under. We'll get. What's the battle? What do I need? I need a double black. So a second black source of oh, I already have Overgrown Tomb. Do I? I guess we mutate this. I'll discard Triumph. Under, just because the toughness is bigger. I'll destroy that one. We'll get an island. I guess I attack. I'll just attack for 3 so I get a card. I don't know if that's any good. I'm still partially confused. I mean, they could attack me next turn and gain some life. Okay, they got a Paradise Druid. I mean, this does seem like a pretty cool, like, budget-friendly, like, deck. Alright, so they're gonna put everything on the Paradise Druid. Nice. They have 3 cards in hand. Part of me wants to, like... I guess I put this here. Discard a card. Octopus. I'll put that over. We'll get a green. Discard a card. Destroy a creature. If it attacks, that's actually not that bad. We'll attack. And for 4, it has Menace. I have reaction cards for this. I'm gonna land into play tapped, and I'll end turn. So the Pouncing Shore Shark is actually really good in this situation, because if they decide to attack, that's perfectly fine. Go for it. Alright. It's only creatures, right? Yeah, my turn. Does it have range? Does it have range? Hexproof, Flight, Trample, Lifelink. I guess I make them discard the last card in their hand. Nice. I'll discard a grave. Under. Can't kill their creature. Might as well make them discard their hand, though. Get rid of, you know, thin the deck out a little bit. Thin the deck out. I can't really get any more lands. Combat. They can't block, has Menace, so we'll attack in again for 4. And then we'll see go. Alright, nice. I think it's game next turn if they do anything. They may need to... Alright, another Paradise Druid's fine. Interesting. They are really sitting back waiting for something. They don't have a hand. I could put this on that, I guess, which gives it a little bit stronger. It's fine. I can discard a card. I don't need to land. I'll put that over. Doesn't have a hand. I'm more so waiting for them to do something. Nope. Alright. I'm still gonna attack in, because, yeah. They're slowly dying. I mean, I could always make a Stone Coil Serpent that's big enough, but it's fine. Sure. It is a 7/6, and they're at 3. So they have to attack completely in order to do anything, because they need to gain life, or they need to be able to kill something in the air. So if they may have a bounce card. All right, they got a 6/6. That doesn't help them though. It's only 1 creature per reach. Pass to attackers. Oh no! I'll discard this. And there we go. Victory. Victory is ours. How much you want to bet they play Luca? My favorite. No hand games. Must be flipping coins to see who goes first. Alright, opponent goes first. Our hand's actually pretty good. I could shock this in, bring a Triumph in, then turn 3, hopefully draw a land. They don't have a companion, so they're not playing Yorion. So they're not playing Yorion, Luca, Jeskai. So we'll keep this. I think it's a good hand. They're playing mono white heals? Like life gain? Oh, low. They're playing Cycle in. Okay, that's perfectly fine. That's actually not that bad either in this matchup. I'm gonna pay 2 life. We're gonna put a Grazer out. And then, yeah, we'll put a Triumph out. Because next turn we can Great Horn, which definitely makes it bigger than that. We could also... that's fine. They can make it... Yeah, no, blocks. I'll let you cycle. I need to actually make sure I can get to... Oh, that kind of stinks. We didn't get a land. I guess we can mutate this and make it a 2/2 so it does damage. I need to draw a card. All right, there's a good card. Doing that is actually really good because if I can play this, I got a couple options here. I can mutate onto this. All right, so they're playing life gain. They're gonna attack in more than likely. They're not gonna attack in. Interesting. Then I'm gonna play this because then this is definitely gonna make him not want to attack in, and I get to gain 2 life, so it's always good. No attacks. If I can slow him down, that's actually really good. I can play another one and then gain 3 life and then 3 life. It may make me fight. All right, it's probably good that they did that for them. I also didn't draw a land, so that kind of sucks. If I draw a land this turn, we're good. Though if they have another Zenith Flare, that's not good for us. I mean, I could play a 3/4. I could flash that in and then mutate the following turn. I think that's what we'll do. We'll see what they do here. If they have a Zenith Flare, I think we're dead regardless. Well, they only have 4 cards, so they only have 3 things. So let them Zenith Flare. They have something, or they have a cycle in. I mean, I'll block here. Are they gonna think about cycling to do additional damage? Oh, okay, but is one. I haven't seen that actually in this. Nice. Man, this kind of sucks. We did not get the matchup we wanted here because we're only at 4. So if they have a Zenith Flare, we're just dead. They're looking at it. I guess they're looking at the art. I have to block here, unfortunately. I mean, I could have actually played that. I mean, if you got the cycle in, I gotta block. Because, I mean, you're just gonna pump. So, I gotta block the card that I assume has... Interesting. Alright, so far so good. I guess this guy. That's all I can do. Alright, they gain a life. Maybe they're looking for the flare, or they're just making sure they can kill this. Not 100% sure. Because, I mean, if they have the flare, I mean, they've had the damage to kill me, so... I'm just gonna quit because... You could have Zenith Flare for the game. But it is what it is. That deck's actually very, very strong. So in closing, I mean, overall the deck performed okay. We did get unlucky again against the Yorion deck that I think is actually gonna be the new troublesome deck. And I don't really know if it's of course it's not the Planeswalker. The Luca's ability is just super duper strong. I mean, the ability to just gain a ton of tokens is definitely going to be something to look out for. Teferi also makes the matchup still hard, even without fires, and just getting a Dream Trawler on the battlefield and make pretty much if you don't have like a board removal, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to remove. But overall, the deck, I think this deck is fine. It's not top tier. It's not gonna be the super duper meta deck. It's just a fun deck that is pretty much built out of all of Ikoria. So yeah, I mean, like I said before in the beginning part of the video, you could always maybe throw in some spot removal just because, like we saw in the cycling deck that we just played, again, that spot removal probably would have been really clutch. Just maybe something a little different. I mean, another good thing too that we could also always think of is always, you know, throwing some Paradise Druids instead of Grazers. Depends on where you want to land when it comes to ramp. The one benefit about Paradise Druid, as long as you don't tap it for mana, it has hexproof, which is the good thing for our deck. I think, you know, in that matchup, it was just we were behind. If we would have went first, I think it's a completely different story. But overall, like I said, the deck is fun. If you have a lot of cards from Ikoria, you can definitely throw this deck together. I'm gonna work on a list for this deck that's gonna have like maybe a few less rares. We can throw in some tap lands and stuff like that, you know, common tap lands. I'm gonna look at some other mutate cards that we could probably replace temporarily until you guys kind of get more of the mythics and rares that you may need for the deck. But overall, like I said, the deck is fun. If you have the cards available or extra wild cards and you want to throw a mutate style deck together, this is definitely one of those decks I think could be interesting. But overall, guys, let me know down below what you think of the deck. If you like the video, hit that like button. If you want to know when I post more videos, hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next video.